Welcome to our final video in our dental practice SEO series, and we've saved the best for last. Today we're going to talk about the final piece that kind of brings everything together with dental SEO and the part that will actually help you grow your practice, and that's conversion rate optimization. This is the part of the process where you take all of those website visitors that you're attracting with SEO and you make sure that they actually turn into patients. So let's dig in. The point of investing in doing SEO, or really any kind of marketing, is ultimately to get more butts in the chair. You want to attract more patients. Just generating a bunch of website clicks doesn't really do you any good. Ranking #1 on Google is kind of worthless unless that ranking actually directly translates into more patients in your schedule. This part of the process is called conversion rate optimization, and it deals with turning those website visitors and leads into real, tangible new patient opportunities. If you're investing money each month into doing marketing and you get a report from your marketing company about how many website clicks you got or how many Facebook likes you got, you can't pay your staff with website clicks. You can't pay for your dental supplies or your practice lease with Facebook likes. This isn't a currency. So every dollar that you put into doing SEO, or really marketing in general, that needs to translate into a very measurable and tangible return on investment, or else you're just kind of throwing money down the drain. To generate a good return on investment for your marketing spend, you need to make sure that all the traffic you're driving to your website actually gets people to pick up the phone and call your practice to actually book an appointment. You need to make sure that your website leaves people with a very good first impression, where even if they're visiting other dental websites, they are left feeling like you're the best choice. So how do we do this? The first thing you need to understand is that there is a huge, and I mean huge, difference between what dentists think will impress patients versus what really actually does impress patients. What I mean by this is that when a dentist hires a web design company to build them a new website, because the dentist is signing the check, the company wants to make sure that the dentist is happy with the website. So they'll change the colors and the pictures and different elements of the website until that dentist likes the website and the dentist thinks that it looks good. A good example of this is before and after photos. A ton of dentists have before and after photos on their website because they think this will actually impress patients. But we've run numerous experiments and have proven that these photos will lower your conversion rate. If you haven't seen those videos, I've linked them down below, and trust me, you're going to be shocked about how much these types of photos will actually hurt your website's ability to attract patients. Another common mistake that we see dentists make is they build a website that is talking too much about themselves, and it's going to usually come across like you're trying really hard to impress them, and it's going to have the opposite effect to what you're expecting. Now, another mistake we see dentists make all the time with their website is they spend a lot of time talking about their equipment. They want everybody to know that they have a CBCT scanner or a CEREC machine or a fancy new laser or some intraoral scanner, but honestly, guys, nobody gives a crap, right? If you want your website to, get the phone to ring, patients actually calling your practice, the website needs to be more about the patient and probably very little about you or the practice. When someone is looking for a dentist, maybe they're doing research on Invisalign or dental implants, and they just want to see what their options are. These people are simply, they're just beginning to do their research. They're not really looking to buy necessarily right now. They're just looking to inform themselves. Now, what your website needs to do is to educate them on how different procedures work, the different options available to them, help understand the pros and cons between different dental procedures. Basically, you want to give them as much information as they're looking for, without, and I can't stress this enough, without trying to convince them to pick you. You're not going to be effective by, trying to sing your own praises. This needs to be done by other people in the form of, Google reviews, patient testimonial videos, or just your staff talking to patients about how you're an amazing dentist, how you're very experienced. When somebody visits your website, you need to help them, sort of walk away with this feeling of, man, like this is a really useful website and I don't feel like it's trying to sell me on anything like all the other dentist websites that I've been to. Now, if people feel like you're not trying to sell them anything and you're just, like legitimately trying to be helpful, give them, unbiased information with the sort of feeling like, we're just going to give you all of the info that you want, you make the right choice that's, right for you. We're not judging. Then inevitably, they're going to begin to trust you more and more. And then once they do, they're, going to wonder, well, Dr. So-and-so, what do you recommend? And then they'll actually be open to like listening to what you have to say. So now, what does this look like in practice? Well, let's say that you're trying to attract more, Invisalign cases. You basically want a website that helps, a patient understand sort of the pros and cons between Invisalign, the other types of procedures that they may want to consider, like traditional braces, maybe functional appliances, what the pros and cons are between each of those procedures, and who may or not, may not be a good candidate for each procedure. Common questions, people have about the procedure, like, does it hurt? Do I need to take time off work? How long does it take to recover? Do the results actually last? Things of that nature. One of the best things you could do is to actually be honest about how much different procedures cost and what affects the price. A lot of practices, they kind of try to dodge this question both on the website and when somebody calls to ask over the phone. Now, rather than trying to avoid the question, you really should be embracing it and have a great plan for how you're going to talk about, this with the patient and, not just on the phone, but also on the website. Now, many people look for information about price because, they're just trying to budget accordingly. It doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't serious, they're not serious about doing Invisalign or implants. It doesn't mean that they're just, shopping around for the cheapest price. Now, this is kind of an amazing opportunity for you to stand out by actually being honest and open with them instead of, doing what almost every other practice does, which is just try to avoid the question. Now, the next best thing you could do on your website is actually answer the most common questions people have about each dental service. So in our part 3 video, we talked about on-page optimization, and we looked at different, common questions that people ask and tools that you could use to figure out what these questions are so, you could answer them on your website. Now, one of the best ways to do this is, by having frequently asked questions videos. So, this gives people a chance to kind of like virtually meet you. It almost like simulates what it's like sitting in the chair and, if they were to ask you these questions directly. Now, every dental practice website talks about how amazing they are and how, they treat patients like family and how the dentist is really smart and they're very experienced. But what's really going to convince patients that any of this is true? If I go to your practice and I see that you have, 300 Google reviews and your, competitor down the street, they only have 50, then yeah, I'm going to believe you. If I look at your website and there's a wall of like patient testimonial videos of people who were so impressed by you that they're actually willing to go on camera and talk about, how good their experience was, then yeah, I'm gonna believe that you're a good practice. Focus less on talking about yourself and your practice and more on just trying to be helpful for people who are looking for different dental procedures. Do an excellent job of answering those questions without any kind of sales pitch. Give them a chance to, virtually meet you using, frequently asked questions videos. Explain things to them as if they were, sitting in the chair beside you and asking you these questions. You need to get your patients to sing your praises for you, not you singing your own praises. And, the best way to do that is in the form of Google reviews and testimonial videos. We hope you found this SEO series useful. The goal of the series was really to help dentists get a better overview of how dental SEO works, some of the different pieces that are necessary to really drive a lot of return on investment. Now stay tuned for future videos where we're going to dive a lot deeper into different SEO and marketing strategies. But I want to thank you for watching the series and hope to see you in the next video. Take care.